optimize our finances in 2026 without getting bogged down in crazy financial jargon or, staring at boring spreadsheets for hours on end. Let's dive right into 5 modern habits for effortless financial wealth. So, let me ask you something. Can you save $5,000 this year without giving up your morning coffee? Look, for years, the dominant finance bro narrative has been shouting at us that the only way to build wealth is through, well, intense deprivation. They tell you to cut out the lattes, ditch the nights out with friends, and basically live like a monk if you ever want to see that savings account grow. But what if I told you that is completely backwards? You really don't have to sacrifice your daily joys to get ahead. $5,000. Let's just pause for a sec and let that sink in. I mean, imagine an extra 5 grand just sitting right there in your bank account 12 months from now. That's the very real potential yearly savings we're talking about today. And honestly, the best part? The 5 habits we're about to explore cost absolutely $0 to start. But if you actually stick to them, they're going to completely alter the trajectory of your financial future. This right here is our overarching philosophy for this explainer. No jargon, no spreadsheets, just real systems. We're going to look at the strategies that the wealthiest people actually use every single day. These aren't just some temporary crash diets for your wallet, right? They're sustainable background systems that do all the heavy lifting for you. We're going to break this whole thing down into 3 distinct phases to make it super easy to follow and, more importantly, easy to implement in your own life today. Okay, let's dive right into this with phase 1, active defense. Before we can really grow our wealth, we've got to patch the leaks in our financial ship, so to speak. And habit number 1 does exactly that. It's called the 24-hour rule, and it is elegantly simple. Every single time you want to buy something that isn't a strict necessity and it costs over $50, you force yourself to wait exactly 24 hours before hitting buy. Why does this work so well? Well, human psychology is pretty tricky. Most impulse purchases are driven entirely by fast-fading emotions. You get this massive spike of dopamine when you see an item, but that emotion dissipates really fast. In fact, studies show that after just one single day, around 60 to 70% of people who use this rule simply abandon the purchase. They just don't even want the thing anymore once that emotional high wears off. So, how do you actually execute this when you're, say, mindlessly scrolling online late at night? Here's the protocol. Step 1. Go ahead and add the item to your cart just to satisfy that immediate urge to click. Step 2, close the browser tab, just shut it down. Step 3, set a quick reminder on your phone for tomorrow. If tomorrow rolls around, the reminder goes off, and you still truly want it, and hey, you can afford it, then go ahead and buy it totally guilt-free. But honestly, just by inserting this 24-hour buffer, the average person saves between $200 and $300 a month, literally just from walking away from the cart. Now, what's really interesting here is habit number 2, which tackles the subscription audit. Guys, the reality of our modern subscription economy is just wild. Data shows the average person has around 12 active subscriptions running at any given time. But get this, they can usually only name about half of them. That means 50% of the services draining your bank account every single month are completely forgotten. You are literally paying for ghosts. So to fix this, you need to do a monthly active defense audit. It takes maybe 10 minutes. Just pull up your recent bank statement, look at every single recurring charge, and ask yourself this one ruthless question. Have I used this in the last 30 days? You got to be completely honest with yourself here. If the answer is no, you cancel it immediately. Don't tell yourself, oh, I'll definitely watch that streaming service next month, or I'll use that obscure software eventually. If it hasn't been used in 30 days, just cut it loose. And here is exactly why that 10-minute exercise is so incredibly vital. Most people, when they actually sit down and do this, find at least $30 to $50 a month in subscriptions they totally forgot even existed. That translates to a massive $600 a year. $600 effortlessly found and put right back into your pocket just by asking yourself one question once a month. All right, moving right along to phase 2, passive offense. Now we're shifting gears from plugging leaks to setting up some background automation. This brings us to habit number 3, which is, without a doubt, the single most powerful habit on our list. The old, flawed way of doing things is manual savings. You know the drill. You spend your money throughout the month, cross your fingers, and wait until the month ends to see what's quote-unquote left over to save. And guess what? There is never anything left over. The new way, the wealthy way, is automated savings. You pay yourself first. By moving the money immediately, you guarantee growth without ever having to rely on sheer willpower. The key here is to not overwhelm yourself right out of the gate. Start small. The very moment your paycheck hits your checking account, a portion, let's say just 5%, should automatically route to a separate savings account before you even have a chance to look at it. Most banks let you set up this routing completely for free. But wait, don't just put it anywhere. You want to make absolutely sure that money lands in a high-yield savings account. Right now, high-yield accounts are offering significantly better interest rates than traditional ones. So your money isn't just protected from your own spending habits, it's actually actively growing and earning more money while it just sits there doing absolutely nothing. Pretty cool, right?
Moving on to habit number 4, the roundup trick. This brilliantly illustrates how microhabits actually compound over time. Imagine you're out and you buy a coffee for $4.60. Your banking app automatically rounds that purchase up to the nearest dollar, $5 even. That digital 40-cent difference slides instantly into a savings vault. Now, the average person makes about 25 to 30 purchases a month. That means roughly 12 to 15 bucks a month is being saved completely effortlessly, just from these tiny little roundups. Combine that with your automated paycheck savings, and boom, you have 2 invisible systems working in the background, building wealth with money you're never even gonna miss.
Which leads us to our final phase, phase 3, the social shift.
For decades, talking about money has been this massive cultural taboo, right? But honestly, avoiding the topic is really hurting everyday earners. So habit number 5 is simple. Talk openly about money. I want you to remember this. The people who build wealth aren't smarter. They just have access to better information. When you keep money a total secret, you're robbing yourself of that better information. You never find out that your friend got a vastly better interest rate on their savings account, or, that there's a new fee-free banking app that everyone in your circle is switching to. Look, you absolutely do not need to share your salary or your net worth at a dinner party, but sparking small, casual conversations, asking simple things like, hey, what app to use for budgeting? That stuff leads to real actionable savings.
And that brings us to your new wealth system.
By stringing all these concepts together, you're proving that you absolutely do not need a finance degree, a giant trust fund, or a life of total deprivation just to get ahead. Let's do a really quick recap of your new toolkit. You've got the 24-hour rule to conquer that emotional impulse buying. You've got automated savings, so you're paying yourself first before a single dime can be spent. You've got the monthly subscription audit to stop paying for those digital ghosts. You have the roundup trick to turn your daily coffee habit into a literal micro-savings engine. And finally, you are going to start talking openly about money to unlock better information. None of these require massive lifestyle sacrifices. And once you set up the automations, they basically run themselves. You now have the absolute blueprint to plug the leaks, automate your growth, and tap into the financial wisdom of the people right there around you. So as we wrap up this explainer today, I really want to leave you with one final thought to ponder. Think about it. What will your next conversation about money unlock for you? Get out there, go build your system, start